Yes, Miss Baker, Izzy threw over her shoulder as she left the smaller room. Alice, a moment. When you are all grown up, if you ever come back to New York, please come and say hello. I will probably still be here. Part of the furniture I am. Alice couldn't breathe. The pain in her chest was too bad. She tried to move, but her feet wouldn't obey her brain. She looked up and caught Miss Baker's tear-filled eyes. With a sob, she flung herself at the kind woman who had held her when she cried, looked after her when she fell ill with a high fever, and nursed her back to health after measles gripped the orphanage. She couldn't remember a time when this woman wasn't by her side. "I love you, Miss Baker. I wish you were my mother." Miss Baker held her close, and Alice barely heard her whisper, "I do too," before she was pushed away. "Go now, Alice, and be good for Mrs. Twiddle. She means well. Just remember that in the days ahead. Chloe and Dawn have both promised to keep an eye on you." Alice didn't care, not anymore. She didn't want to leave New York and everyone and everything she knew. She held tight to the doll Miss Baker had given her, deciding to call her Agatha. She didn't know why, but she liked that name. She joined the back of the queue of children now making their way out of the orphanage and down the street. She waved goodbye to the matron and the other children. She walked past boxes of food piled up on the steps of the orphanage, spotting figs, dates, bananas and some oranges. Were they coming on the trip too? She loved oranges. Chapter 2. Large snowflakes fell from the New York sky, coating everything in white like a blanket. Alice stepped on board the horse-drawn streetcar, wondering how the snow made even the dirtiest things look wonderful. Would her friends be out throwing snowballs? Sometimes Miss Baker played with them. If she was caught, Matron told Miss Baker she was nothing but a child herself, but Matron would smile when she said this. Miss Baker had grown up in an orphanage Matron had worked at previously and came with Matron when she moved to the home for destitute girls. Someone said it had improved a lot since Matron joined. Alice couldn't remember a time when Matron wasn't in charge. An automobile horn made her jump. Judging by the noise the horses made, they didn't like these new inventions either. Alice gripped her doll. Maybe Mrs. Twiddle would change her mind. Would the snow fall heavily enough to send them back to the home? It didn't appear so. The streetcar kept moving away from the home in the direction of the river. Chloe said they would take a ferry boat across to New Jersey. Alice didn't like the water. She had nightmares about it, but Matron said she was being silly. Alice's heart beat faster as they got nearer the river. She sniffed at the smells of the dock area, images filling her mind. A large boat, lots of women and children, a sunny day, people laughing, carrying picnic baskets. She shook her head trying to clear the pictures from her mind. Dawn, the English girl from the orphanage, glanced at her. "Alice, what's wrong? You're as pale as a sheet." Dawn looked under her lashes at Mrs. Twiddle, who had told them to sit in silence. Alice loved the older girl, who'd been so kind to her since she'd arrived in the orphanage. Dawn had come to America with her older brother, but they'd got separated. Like Alice, she had no family. "I'm scared, Dawn. I hate the river." Dawn held her hand tight. "I will be with you. The ferry is safe, just like taking a train, but it's on the water. It will be exciting." Alice held on to Dawn's hand, but she didn't feel excited. She felt sick. This place gave her a funny feeling in her belly. "Alice, cheer up. It won't take long, and it's the only way to get to the Erie Railroad." Dawn held her hand so tight she left a mark, but Alice didn't tell her off. She trusted Dawn. The older girl looked after her and made sure the others didn't tease her. Chloe made funny faces, but Alice couldn't laugh. She stared at the water as she cuddled as close to Dawn as she could get. "It won't take long, I promise," Chloe whispered, as Mrs. Twiddle gave them a dirty look. "The train will be waiting for us on the other side of the water." "Mrs. Twiddle, how long will the train take to go to Illinois?" "Stop talking. You ask too many questions. We will get there when we arrive, and no sooner." Mrs. Twiddle glared at Izzy, but Izzy just turned her face to the water. Nothing seemed to upset Izzy. Alice hoped she would be more like the other girl when she was 10 years old. Once aboard the ferry, Alice watched the Manhattan skyline disappear from view. She felt Izzy's hand in hers, the other girl squeezed.